Hello and welcome to Who Dares Roles TV. I am your host Mike B, and here we are again with the third part of our top 50 games. I don't know who's it's me, my top 50 games. So this is 30 down to 20, getting a bit tighter now, getting a bit trickier. Ooh, what's going to be in this lot? I don't know. Well, I do know, actually. I do know. Anyway, I'm going to get on with it. So, here we go. Next up, Lifeform for All or Nothing Productions and designer Mark Chaplin. It's Alien the board game, essentially. It is Alien the board game. Mark Chaplin's a massive nerd. It's virtually the same age. He's virtually my clone, I feel. He designed a game specifically for me and my aesthetic and what I like. And he's done it. It's got that old school kind of 1980s board game vibe where it's kind of telling this story and lots of just moving parts kind of ticking around in there. And it's you, the crew, against the alien, and it's merciless. And it is everything my 13-year-old me would have fucking died for. I just kind of appalled that I don't actually get enough a chance to play it myself. There was a solo one. I've still not ever got around to playing the solo thing. The rulebook was atrocious, but the actual core game is fantastic. If you like Alien or love Alien like I do, this is the game you waited your life for. And it's brilliant. You should get it. It's getting hard to get these days. There is expansion on the way. There is a reprint possibly on the way. And Mark's working on another cool sci-fi game, Among the Stars, I think it is. I'm going to burp. And it looks cool. Anyway, Lifeform. Brilliant. That's what I'll say on it. Fantastic. Next up is Godfather from Eric Lang's Godfather. Something that's got a subtitle. Corleone's Empire, something like that. That's because I love the Godfather. Godfather 1 and 2, fantastic movies. Love all that. When Eric announced he was doing a Godfather game, I was like, wow. You saw loads of other reviewers of Board Game Times doing a lot of that. And it's a deep thematic game. Let's be clear. I love Godfather, and this is not Godfather, really. It's got Marlon Brando on the box. There is some kind of cool art in the places. The rulebook's got some really nice art. None of it's in the game virtually, but the actual game itself is a knife fight in an elevator. It's brutal, and I love how it works. This escalation in this game. You've kind of got properties slowly building up on the map of this like worker placement, sending your gangs out to area control and all that. And it is this sort of starts as kind of like a peaceful beginning of this kind of 5 gangs in New York, kind of simmering at the edges, and there's a little bit of crossovers, a little bit of this, and as that game grows and expands, and the more properties come down, and more stuff happens, and more areas get closed off. Brilliant. It's brutal. The level of complexity kind of ramps just along with the players. They can keep up. Just hold on to it. A fantastic design by Lang. It's really good. As I say, it's not really the Godfather. It's got definitely some nods and winks to it, thematic feels to it. It's not the Godfather, but it's a brilliant gangster game. Fantastic. Yeah, if you could pick up a bargain bin, because it is, and it's overproduced, but it's a brilliant game. Keep an eye out for it. Next up is Detective City of Angels. This is from Van Ryder Games. They did Hostage Negotiator, some other stuff. This is their ode kind of LA Confidential. You all play detectives trying to solve another crime. The cool one how this works is you've actually got someone like the GM, the chisel they're called, and they're controlling all the pulling the strings, the puppet master of the crime. And they get some bits they read at the start. So essentially you're playing against them, and you get to interview suspects, and they get to throw you off curveballs, and it's just steeped in that sort of gumshoe-ish sort of LA Confidential corrupt cops, that gangsters. It's beautiful art by Vincent Dutray. It's stunning productions, brilliant. I've not played nearly enough of it. I might start playing some solo of it, but I do love the challenge of going up against someone who knows what they're doing. But yeah, it's a brilliant game. It's now coming to retail. It was only a Kickstarter exclusive for a while, but they just recently did a new expansion, which I didn't pick up yet, but I might do. But more importantly, it's now going to retail. So if you get a chance to track it down, Detective City of Angels from Van Ryder Games, if you like LA Confidential, all that sort of LA Noir type stuff, fantastic. Love it. Gorgeous. Brilliant. Just so much fun. Then there's Arctic Scavengers. Arctic Scavengers is a deck builder. It came out before Dominion, but Dominion kind of flattened it. There's a whole story behind that I think I published years ago. I won't go into it here, we'll be here forever. Essentially, Arctic Scavengers works for me because it's a deck builder. I love a bit of a deck building. It's set in a post-apocalyptic Arctic, so it's different. It's not something we really got much of. There's since been Frostpunk's come out, but this was the early Frostpunk, was Arctic Scavengers. I love that everything is thematically tied into the rules of the game. Everything feels thematic to what you're doing for a deck builder, whereas most deck builders kind of feel a little bit like you're playing a deck builder with kind of a theme splashed on it. This is all kind of intertwined. It's got lots of cool expansions in there. If you can track it down, I think they brought it back out. A Little Argyle was reprinted with an expansion in one box, I think. It's well worth, if you love a deck builder and you like your post-apocalyptic mayhem, brilliant game, really good, really solid, really clever. I love it. It's got some nice cool rounds. You're building a settlement, then you're kind of going into a fight at the end of each round, and you're scavenging for stuff. Oh, it's good. I need, again, a game I really wish I played more. I'm going to fucking well make sure that happens. Next up is Arcadia Quest. Just dice rolly fun and games. It's an epic laying again. It's for Cormini or not. It's festooned with plastic. It's a dice chucker. You're essentially going on quests, chucking loads of dice, punching each other in the face, and grabbing stuff. It does feel a bit like the old school Gauntlet. It's definitely aimed at that sort of fast and loose. Arcadia Quest kind of gives away. It's like an arcade game. There's exploding dice in it. They don't physically explode, but you get the idea. And I love what it does. The aesthetic is really cool. It's really good. It's got chibis in there, but it's just a fun, rollicking bit of fun. There's Arcadia Quest that I have played, which kind of polishes a lot of it up. But I'm too far invested in Arcadia Quest now. But yeah, there's that. Next up is Forgotten Waters from Planet Hat Games. It's a pirate game. Aye, pirates. Uses a kind of app to do the crossroads side of it, and it's just fun. It's a very light game. All of you played crew on the ship. You kind of have a pirate you track with, like, through a campaign, 2 mission sort of campaign. You level them up in certain ways. You're rolling dice. It's very, very light on rules and what complexity, but it's just a rollicking yarn. The narration and all that done on the app thing is fantastic. Really pulls you in. It tells you a great story. Hopefully there's some more adventures or something coming out of this. I really like what it did. It did really well. Looked really cool. Was a fun, just real fun, light-hearted game. If you like your pirates, it's good fun. It's jolly good fun. Jolly Roger. Next up is Crackalackad Poker, Cockroach Poker. Really quick, simple game. One of my videos, I think a little while ago, had us playing it. It's just stupid, really cheap. You can pick it up for under a tenner, and it's just a bluffing game and a bullshit game, and it's just really good fun. Just stupid. Anyone who gets to shout cockroach out during a game and do stupid shit is brilliant. Very simple, very light. There's nothing to it. It's just a throwaway, stupid, silly game, but it's a great fun. Never fails to entertain me. Next up is Secret Hitler, which is a hidden traitor game. I think it's probably the high point, the pinnacle in hidden traitor stuff. There is stuff like Resistance and all that, which are all kind of cool, but I think Secret Hitler does such a great job of doing it. It's just how it breaks you into votes, and if you like hidden traitor games, hidden identity games, this is the grand heavyweight of them. People are turned off by the theming, but the idea behind it is about the rise of Hitler to power. It's not doing anything to say how great Hitler is. In fact, a lot should have been taken from this to stop Trump getting into government. There is a secret Trump variant, actually, if you want to play it. But yeah, Secret Hitler, hidden identity game. You trying to find the Hitler and take him out before he essentially rises to power and before you know it. And it's a brilliant lesson in history if you care to look past what it's saying. And just a really solid design. Fantastic stuff. Secret Hitler. Next up is Lewis and Clark. Finally been reprinted. It was out of print for ages. It's a beautiful looking game of art by Vincent Dutray. It's got you, Lewis and Clark, on their river, crossing out the river. It's a worker placement game. It's a deck building game, multi-use cards. There's so much going on in this, and it's like a race game where you're trying to race up the river, and you have to balance that with how many supplies you're taking, and then you get to the mountains, you have to change the engine again. There's a lot going on in this. It can be a hard teach if you haven't played it for a while, but once you get playing it, wow, it's just a lot of spinning plates. It looks gorgeous, really great mechanisms in there. It does, again, another game that really should have been much more accolades than it gets, and it has finally got a reprint. And if you've never played it or don't know anything about it, and you like worker placement games, you like deck building games, you like race games, you like engine building games, any of that, all of that is in this one box, and it looks gorgeous. I highly recommend Lewis and Clark. It's a brilliant game. Finally, in this shout out, which will be number 20, I believe, I think, doing the math roughly, is Fallout from FFG. Now, I really like Fallout. I've never finished any of the Fallout, well, the original ones I played, but this is kind of taken from the Fallout 4, I think. The idea of you tracking around the wasteland. It does a lot of things really well. It's a long game, but to get that aesthetic and feel of you playing a Fallout game, I think it nails it. I like the deck mechanisms it's got, where as you discover stuff gets put back into this deck, so you can actually have this evolving campaign and story. You can revisit stuff what you made decisions on earlier, and it could possibly come back and bite you in the arse. Love it. If you like Fallout, and if you played the Fallout games, not the most recent one, because apparently that was a bit shit, but if you played them and like the aesthetic of what it's doing, I felt that this captured it really well. There was a couple of expansions, I think it was New Vegas, I want to say, I'm not sure. That was kind of cool, adding more to it and some stuff. There is subsequently been a cooperative expansion I've not owned or picked up, because it kind of out of the retail before it's gone. But I might well grab it just to complete that, because I think that's it. But yeah, Fallout, really solid stuff. If you love Fallout, the video game, then this is it on the table. It really does feel like you're playing that Fallout, and you just sit there as a group and kind of just bullshit and do your thing. And just bumble around in the post-apocalypse and find shit. I nearly messed up finding saying that. So that's it. That's it. So that brings us to the end of this list. We're into the 20s already. Oh, blimey, how exciting. Who knows what's down the road? Well, 20 more games, technically. I've been Mike B. This has been my list of top 50 games. This is the bit we've done in the middle. There's more to come. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Ta-da! Bye.